Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Doing a quick update video here on my friend's 1995 XR200 motor that I'm rebuilding for him. If you remember, a couple weeks ago we got into it. We had found out what destroyed it. It was a combination of mostly overuse of RTV up top, and it got into the oil passages and starved the top end for oil, which destroyed the cam, the head, the journals and stuff. All that stuff was completely done. So it kind of prompted my friend to look for aftermarket options, which brings us to this piece right here. This comes from the UK, and it was a vendor on eBay. I'm going to include a link to the eBay store in my video so you can take a closer look. I did in the other video as well, but just in case you missed that video, he offers these heads, which are actually really nice. Here, let me show you. The main feature to it is they come with a cam that has two bearings on it. We got one on the end here and one up here, and right there is where they always fail because the stock 200s don't have bearings there. They just kind of ride in the cam journals, which if you have any oil starvation or anything gets down in there, it pretty much destroys and wrecks that journal, and your head's screwed up and then it messes with your cam. So this fixes that by adding two bearings in there, which is really nice. This is nice and smooth. It also includes, take this off while I flip it over, oversized valves, which I believe these are out of a CRF230. So this is going to fit right on top of the cylinder here for the XR200, and it's going to boost power quite a bit, I'm assuming. So I'm going to throw it together, and we're going to unfortunately I won't be able to ride it in this video. I'm just going to get it back together and get this engine to my friend, and he's going to throw it in one of his bikes to break it in and stuff, and I'll eventually have a video riding it once he brings it back home, because he's not actually in the same area that I am. So he's a couple hours away. So later on this spring or summer we'll get a riding video with it, hopefully. But I'm going to assemble it, and we're going to see how this goes together and see what the fit and finish is like. So far, what I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Everything looks and feels quality. So been looking forward to finishing this off so I can possibly do the same thing to one of my XRs. I'm thinking on maybe doing this to my 86, but we'll see. I'm going to throw this together and we're going to find out. We got all the pieces here ready to go. Gaskets are ready. I've kind of been waiting for this part to come in, so we're at the point where I can just throw this on, and it shouldn't take too much longer. So I'm going to get started. Okay, like I said, I already got the top of the cylinder cleaned up. We got the new gasket on there ready to go. New cam chain tensioners, all that stuff ready to go. So I'm just going to start kind of throwing this together like we would if it was a stock head. It should just all go together the same way. You got to reuse some of the pieces, like timing advance mechanism and the housing and all that stuff, the cover, all that stuff fits right on here. So I'm just going to throw this together now. Okay, timing chain, tensioner, we'll bolt in right there. Just gonna get something to hold this up. Let's use this for now. Throw this bolt in here next. Tie this up here temporarily. Okay. Okay, we're gonna slip the sprocket on here next. Start getting ready to time this up. I'm gonna try to get this to stay in the lobes facing down position. So when we get this bolted up, it'll be as close as possible to that spot once we get the crank set at top dead center as well. But it's going to be kind of tough with the those bearings. Make this thing move so smoothly, it's kind of doesn't want to stay in one spot. All right, I'm going to get the crank here at top dead center. We're already pretty close. All right, we got the crank at top dead center. I'm just going to come up here and slip the chain on the sprocket. I really can't align anything yet until I put the cap on, because there's that little arrow that lines up with the marking on the sprocket here. So just want to get it in there close, and then we'll worry about aligning it up once it's once it's on the sprocket here. Still at top dead center on the crank. Gonna slip the head on just to see how close we are to the alignment mark. And I can already tell we're roughly a tooth off on there. See if I can get this to sit down in there. Yeah, it looks like we're off by a tooth. Let's just make sure we're at top dead center still on the crank, which we are. And the dot is right there, which isn't lined up, so we kind of need to go just a hair over more. Went too far that way. This part can be a little tedious. Okay, let's see here. That's top dead there. Okay, we got the cam lobes down. It looks pretty straight. Let's get that cap back on there and see. Yep, that looks good. Alignment mark on the cam gear and the alignment mark on the cap. We're lined up there, and we are lined up down below with the crank at top dead center. Got that little marker right there, and we are lined up with the T dead on. Get this bolted up here so it doesn't move on us. Okay, just confirmed everything's still lined up. We're at top dead center. We've got the lines all, everything's lining up correctly. So I'm going to pop this back off and get some oil in that valley there just so this isn't dry. And we're going to put some sealant around the edge here. I also have to put in a little rubber bung that goes into this spot right here to kind of direct that oil into the cam. So let me grab that and some oil. This is a little rubber piece I'm talking about. It's going to go right in here. Just like that. That just blocks that machining passage that they drilled in to get the oil line that goes down this stud. Just blocks that off, so it directs the oil in this way, because there's a little opening on the other side of this ledge right here. So it's just to you know, get full maximum oil into the cam there. We're just going to fill up this valley here with some oil, and we're going to get the cam all lubed up. Okay, we got the oil in there. I'm just kind of giving this a quick wipe down with some brake clean to get the oil off of here, so I could put a little bit of sealant down and it'll stick. And do a little thin layer on this end and a thin layer on the cap end too. Kind of wish Honda would make a gasket for this part. It'd probably save a lot of these heads too, because a lot of times people put too much on and ends up clogging the oil passages, which wrecks the head. So if they had a gasket, that would eliminate that possibility. Obviously you want to stay away from that bearing with this stuff as much as you can. Okay, we got our light coat on the head itself and also on the cap. Slip this on here next. Okay. Put our cap screws in here, or cap bolts I should say. Get this squished down so that seals. I'm just barely putting tension out on this. I'm not going to crank anything down yet. Okay, we got brand new brass crush washers here. They're going to go on next. Followed up by the cap nuts. Okay, I'm just going around and gently snugging these down too before I put the final torque on them. Next up, I'm going to throw the cam chain tensioner arm and spring in there, and then the flywheel. Okay, we got a nice smooth movement here. Full rotation. We're in good shape. So I'm going to get this set at the fire mark. There's a mark on the flywheel F for fire. I'm going to get that lined up. We're going to put the pulse generator pickup on. Make sure all that stuff lines up too. Okay, we're going to slip the housing on here first. Get a little oil on here just to meet up with the oil seal that's on this part. Next up is the timing advance. Followed up by the pickup plate. Okay, as I mentioned a little bit ago, I'm going to set the flywheel again here at the fire mark so we can get this line matched up with the pickup here. Okay, so that's fire. And we're lined up already, so I kind of marked the plate before I took it off. And we're dead on, so we're going to leave that alone. Tighten these screws back down. Ready for the stator cover. Okay, we got the cap here, cover to go on next. And a final torque down of the nuts up top. We got 21 foot-pounds on these ones. Okay, all that's really left is to throw some oil in this. And since we had it apart, it's bone dry inside, so it calls for a little over a quart. So we're going to do that and then check the level once we get this in there to see if we got to add any more. Tell this thing has a ton of compression. I don't even have the spark plug in there, and you can just tell this thing's gonna be a runner. All right, she's all buttoned up. She's got oil. She's ready to go. We're gonna get this back to my friend who is gonna throw it in his bike and break it in while he's got it, and he's gonna bring it back up to my neck of the woods, probably in the spring or summer, so I can get a ride on it myself, and I can do a good comparison video of how it compares to a stock 200. Since my 86 and my 83 are both stock, and I'll have a good feeling for the difference in power. So I'm assuming it's going to be quite a bit more with the amount of compression this thing has right now. It's got the oversized valves, like I said, the CRF230 valves, and she's got fresh rings and a hone job too. So all that's going to go a long way and give this little engine some punch. So yeah, I'm going to put a link to the vendor on eBay that was selling these. He's in the UK, like I said. I'm impressed with the fit and finish of all this stuff. Everything went together good. It feels tight, feels like quality stuff, and I'm probably going to do the same thing on my 86 once it's time for a top end on that. So look for that link if you want to check it out for yourself, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to get alerted with the bell when I do put a video out on the first ride with this engine up here in my trails, and I can give you my 2 cents on it and what I think. So make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.